Hi, this is Mrs. Wilson. We're ready for our first lesson, our real first reading lesson for Birthright Reading. Remember Birthright Reading, the series. You can get it on Amazon.com for $15. And if you have questions about the Birthright Reading reading lessons, just go to yahoo.com and I'll answer all your questions. This is our very first reading lesson, and it's the series, and our first two letters are at, and ta, ta, ta. All the time you should be reading to the student, and one of the best books that you can do at the beginning of the year is We're Going on a Bear Hunt, because in this book, Going on a Bear Hunt, you will be acting out all kinds of motions, and you can also relate those motions to handwriting. The other thing is, throughout the room, you're going to go on a hunt for letter sounds, and that parallels with our book. Another good book to read at the beginning of the year is anything with the ABC letters, the alphabet letters. And finally, book 0 in our book, Abaca. You should be reading this book every day. It is the center of everything the young child or the young reader needs to know. So at the beginning of the week, remember that we always start with chalkboard day, or if you have dry erase day, and our letters are A, and A is slant across for uppercase A, and lowercase a is circle down. So slant across. And all the children, after they make their A, they hold it up and show it to you. They erase, and then around and down for lowercase a. And then for ta, it's down and across. Down and across. When you're printing, you always go from top down. Now, I have continued to volunteer ever since I retired from teaching in 2016, and my classroom teacher tells me they allow you to print anyway now. I am going to tell you that the best thing you can do is teach your student to print from up to down. Going from down to up, it is not nearly as good, and it will take them longer. You want to keep one pattern motion. So lowercase ta is down and across, and the only difference is the across goes midway through the line down for the lowercase ta. So we got through with chalkboard day, and also at the beginning of the week, you're going to make your sandpaper letters, because you want your student to be always at the chalkboard practicing. Remember, these are our touching fingers. A. Is this lowercase a? No, that's uppercase a. The dot on our sandpaper letters is a clue to which way the letter goes. And also, if you have a student that has any learning disability, this helps them focus and know where to begin. Around and down. Down and across. And we always go from left to right. Down and across. In the Montessori classroom, we would children were allowed to bring fruit and vegetables to school so they could cut them. As early as 2006, in that time, we could still do that in the public classroom, but now you cannot. But if you are a parent homeschooling your child, you can do that. Here's an apple. And this is a plastic fork or knife. That's all you need. You say sharp, dull. Sharp, dull. But look, when you hold this knife, you are using the same fingers you need for printing, and that's why it's so important. I won't have time to cut through the apple here, but you cut it in quarters and then eighths and then small pieces. Give the child a little bowl, and the children would, of course, you always wash hands before, and the children would go around and share the apple pieces with the class. It's a wonderful, wonderful activity. Also, at the beginning of the week, you want to do your sound jars. You're going to collect little objects, put them in any kind of a container, and these will be out on the shelf. And it just so happens we have a mat, a place mat, and our is at the middle, ta, and our ta is at the end. So here's some things. It's a at, a an apple, an, a at. Here's a picture of a bag. You could put a real bag in there. And we have an astronaut, an alligator, a and a jar of jam. And the whole idea of the Montessori way of teaching is that you learn through movement, and you learn through sequence and order. So afterwards, the child totally puts away their work back on the shelf, and then again learning how to roll. We roll and fold, but you're using the same fingers for that activity that you would for printing. Let's do our ta. We have a mat. Ta tag. Oh, at. Ta is at the end. Ta was at the beginning. Ta table. Eight. Oh, love this. Ta triangle. Ta two. And here's a pair of ta teeth. Make sure they don't put those teeth in their mouths. We do not want children putting their mouth on any of the objects. I'm going to tell you how important it is to collect these little objects. The students love them, the children love them, they use them all the time. All of these activities, the slates, the sandpaper letters, and the sound jars are very important. Okay, we are still at the beginning of the week. Let's sing our Abacada song. Abacada efaga ha eja kalamana apaqua rasata avawax yoza. Now I sound my abacus. Next time won't you sound with me? And we're going to get the lowercase a, and here's our uppercase letter, and the uppercase a, and the lowercase ta, and the uppercase ta. And if you're a classroom teacher, you can do all of these activities in this activity here, and the slates in a large group or small group reading. They go in your mystery bag, and then you say, can you find the lowercase ta? I feel it. Don't peek. Yeah, there it is. And then you go through all of the letters. It's extremely important that they know the difference between uppercase and lowercase ta. Now it's time to do some actual book learning. All you need is a piece of paper 8.5 by 11 folded in half like a book, and at that's what we're doing. I did one in printing and then one in dashes that the student could write. At, apple. Ant. Table. Two. And the second book is exactly the same. And then remember that we buddy read. What's buddy reading? Remember, you tell which student, two people, who starts, who ends, and they sit down crisscross applesauce or sit at the table. They read together. If they need help, they raise their hand. And then you save the book if you're going to use it tomorrow. If you're not, you send it home. One thing is very helpful is if you get clipboards, because on a clipboard the students can actually sit on the floor with a long piece of paper, and it's pretty easy for them. Let's practice our sounds. Ta, ta. We won't be using the ta sound this time, but we will in our second book. So it's extremely important that they can say the two sounds forward and backward. How do we do all this? Remember, you have your paper in half like a hot dog and lines across, and this is what we do for our knock-knock game. You're going to be playing knock-knock every day. Here's all our sounds and our at word. And then you're also, every day you're going to be reading the small books, the same thing. They're just half a little slice of paper. That's it. They can buddy read that too. Is that a capital A or a lowercase a? Oh, that's a capital A. Pretty soon we're going to learn that you can also, capital A also says A, and so they're going to know that there are a long and short sound, but we're not there yet. I got something at the dollar store that was extremely helpful. Actually, several things. If you see the abacus, you want to put these up in the classroom or in the child's room if you're homeschooling, and put them at eye level. This is just a wonderful buy for around $1. Also, at the dollar store, you can write words on these word frames. They're excellent and they last for a long time. Great way to spend a little bit of money. This is something else I found at the dollar store. A package of these, 4 in a pack. So if you're using a reading group, you would have enough for 2 sets. You'd have enough for an 8-group reading. Tracing around some apples with their name at the bottom, uppercase A, lowercase a, and uppercase and lowercase a together. And remember, I told you that we can play bingo. That is just such a fun thing to do. You have your bingo cards, and then every way that we can think of, we have 9 different ways to put our 2 letters with uppercase, lowercase, a, ta, at, and ta, ta on cards in different orders. You have your calling cards, and then when you say, do you have an uppercase a? Well, then the student would cover that up, and 3 in a row wins. It's very easy to make. Just fold your paper in half, 8.5 by 11 paper in half like a book, and then trim off the bottom so you have 2 squares, and off you go and make the calling cards. And now you should be midweek or Thursday, and it's time to get ready for your first spelling test. It's actually a sound test. Here is the blank paper folded in half like a hot dog. You have 6 spaces, 7 actually, their name goes at the top. And here's your test. It's really important. 1, lowercase a. And honestly, first week of school, if they need help, I would give them air letters and show them how to print in the air. Uppercase a, lowercase t, uppercase t, at. Remember, that's 2 letters, a and t. Ta, t, a. 2 letters. There's your first test. So, we have learned the lesson. That's all you had to learn the first week. However, it's hard to have a book without any words, and so here are some new knock-knock cards. Bat, hat, cat, mat, pat, and this one is sat. Remember, these are our word cards. Here's our small books. You turn your knock-knock cards upside down and say, knock, knock, who's there? Ah, at, bat. Knock, knock, who's there? At, cat. No, that doesn't match. Turn them back over. You have 2 sets. 2 buddies can play. They can even play on the carpet on a little rug or a clipboard. And then they do the matching. Playing knock-knock every day really teaches reading. Here are the small books that you would do the same thing at a small group. And now I'm going to show you how to make some cute little pictures. You just use a ruler and draw a line at the top and the bottom. And this is exactly what's in the book. So they will be so ready for it. At, cat, they trace that and then they can color it. At, mat, trace and color. At, pat. At, hat. At, bat. And at, sat. Now, let's talk about this. Can a baseball bat really sit on a stool? No, that's silly. Can a mat really sit, a welcome mat sit on a stool? No. Could Pat really sit on a stool? Yeah, she could. Can you throw your hat on a stool? Sure, you could do that. How about a cat? Could a cat really sit on a stool? Yeah. Now let's read our book. At, and you'll tell them this word says book 1. Their name goes on the front. At, at, cat, at, at, hat, at, at, bat, at, at, mat, at, at, pat, at, at, sat. On the back, they go around and down and across, and then they read the at on the back, and you have just finished your first week. Now guess what? We have Friday Fun Day. We can't forget about our mystery bag. Let's see what's in our mystery bag. At, hat. The at is in the middle. The t is at the end. Football, foot. The t is at the end. This is a boat. Tie. The t is at the beginning. This is a towel. Is there anything else? Oh yeah, a turtle. An apple. And 2 more things. Map. The at is in the middle. and an ant. That's it. We have done the first week of reading. Remember, you start every lesson off with the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. And remember that we are one nation under God, indivisible, unbroken, with liberty and justice for all. God bless America. Have a great evening.